Hello guys, welcome to the Solution Architect Show. Your host is Ben. So in the last episode, I covered why I want to become a solution architect. In this episode, I want to cover how you can become a solution architect. And my first step is you need to find a mentor. So if you're coming from a software development background, you are very likely that you build a very bad habit from working in software development. What I mean is, so when you have a problem to solve, say a coding problem, so what you normally do is you either Google or you ask some sort of question in the forum. Some of the product like Microsoft or Google, they even have a support forum for you to post questions or search answers from other support or your peer developers. What the problem is when you want to become a solution architect, communication with a person is quite important. You need to be able to build rapport with a person very quickly and be able to communicate using a language they can understand. So how are you going to sort of step out of your comfort zone to do it? I believe is you need to be able to find a mentor. The way you do it is you ask. So instead of asking a solution architect in the company who already been there, done that, and sort of who already perform in that level, I see a lot of developers asking those questions in the forum to say, hey, how can I become a solution architect? And you're seeing people answering it. And some of them are legit solution architects, but there are a lot of answers that are from people who is not working their level. That's what I find strange, and they might be saying something that you like to hear as a developer, but that certainly doesn't help you to step up to become a solution architect. So my advice is find a solution architect in your company that's been in the role for some time, and just ask them for coffee to say, hey, I've been working as a developer or becoming a infrastructure technical specialist, whatever, for a number of years. And my goal is trying to becoming a solution architect. And I've seen you been working in that role for a number of years. And can you share some of the experience with me, and also help me to sort of build a plan on how I can becoming a solution architect. And also remember that the mentor doesn't have to be from the company you work for. When you go to a conferences, that when you listen to a talk, that person work as a solution architect, just ask them. Just ask them how you can become a solution architect. Ask them for coffee or add them to LinkedIn to see. Just email them. Just ask. Another thing I see also can be served as a mentor as a books or video tutorials. So for me, I read sort of a leadership book like from Brian Tracy, or I listen to some leadership talk from YouTube or from TED Talk. I also try to learn around the communication styles and from YouTube and different sort of learning, online learning school as well. One of the book that written on how to win friends and influence people is quite a good book around how you communicate with others. You also, I think from last episode, I also talked about the personal development. I particularly like Jim Rohn. So there's a lot of YouTube. There's a lot of YouTube about him. So just search Jim Rohn and they'll come out from YouTube. And specifically, what I mean by personal development is really you need to be able to set goals, be able to plan how you want to achieve your goals and take actions. Along the way, you need to sort of motivate yourself to be able to keep on doing what you planned, and also once you achieve the goal, and you need to set a new goal and do the new planning and motivate yourself to actually take the actions. So okay, number 2, increase your technology breadth. So as a software developer or infrastructure guy, you might be very good at a particular area, but as a solution architect, you really need to have a broader understanding of the technology stack. So you need to understand the software, the infrastructure, networking, security, and also the new trends around cloud computing. Remember, your role involves the problem solving. So part of the problem solving involves understand the problem, but also come up with all the options you have. You really need to have a broad understanding of the technology in order to come up with all the options you have. Say if you are you only have a good understanding of the Microsoft stack, then all your solution will be Microsoft centric. That may not be a very good solution to the business or the end customer of yours. So if you're a software developer, you need to understand sort of the infrastructure, networking, security side of things. Vice versa, if you're an infrastructure guy, you need to understand other sort of IT related stack. However, as a solution architect, when you try to learn those things, you need to ask smarter questions. So instead of asking how we can achieve this, you ask why this technology is better, why this is will help my business to solve the problem, why this sort of technology is laid out this way. So you really need to understand the why. Remember, you need to convince people this is the best solution. Okay, number 3, volunteering to take more responsibility. So if you work as a software developer at the moment, you will you can sort of volunteer to say, hey, there isn't a documentation around the project we're doing. Can I volunteer to do a current state of the application and the infrastructure or deployment diagram? This is the opportunity that to doing something that on the level of the solution architect. But you need to remember, when you are doing it, the diagram is the least of concern. Unlike when you are a developer, the sort of when coding software, the line of the code is more important because we need to make it work. You need to write a unit test, and you if you run your unit test is all green, then you can check it in. But as a solution architect, the diagram is only to help people to understand what you built. It is an artifact, it's an output. The process is more important. So when you are actually building this the diagram, you need to talk to different people. You need to talk to your peer developer, you need to talk to the business user, you need to talk to your project manager or some other people. Just try to talk to them and explaining what you built. This will also increase your communication skills, because you will often find that the language you use when we talk to people other than your developers, it is very hard for them to understand. So you need to sort of change your language a bit so that they can understand you. So this is sort of the area that you probably need to work with your mentor to help you. Because when I talk to the business, I use a lot of IT jargon and they don't quite understand. Then I go back to my mentor to say, hey, how can I explain this? I remember my mentor told me to say, hey, you need to put a language that's not technology specific, but keep on. So you need to explain the problem that's not technology specific in their language so they can understand. Okay, number 4, certification. So if you currently have no experiences in solution architecture, I think starting for TOGAF is a good start. So people often say, hey, TOGAF certified without experiences is pretty much useless. But I have a different view to say, hey, you are kind of want to work in a higher level. You might be really, really good at software development, but if you want to step up to become a solution architect, you're almost working kind of like a grad. As a graduate, you want to apply for a role. Then anything that can prove that you are better than other candidates is good. So see, for example, if you apply for junior architect role, there are other candidates who is sort of similar as you, maybe a senior software developer, but they don't really have a TOGAF certification, but you have. Then from the hiring perspective, that you already done a lot of study, and when they train you to perform in the job, it is much easier. So you are likely to be hired. So if studying a TOGAF certification will increase your likelihood to get hired, I think you should do it. Plus, obviously, if you want to attend the in-classroom training, that is quite expensive. But you can actually get the TOGAF Part 1, Part 2 training from Udemy when they're in discount for like $20 US. I think that's really cheap. You should go for it. Number 5, and the last one, is always looking for opportunities. So you do not have to limit your role to your current company. You can keep your options open. So solution architect is definitely a slightly senior role. So unless your company grow or there's a personnel change in the company, there isn't a lot of job opening. So you should considering applying for similar role in other company as well. It's definitely harder to apply in other company, but you never know unless you try, right? So you never get it unless you try. So do keep your options open. Okay, here's the 5 steps on how to become a solution architect. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time.